Yes, it's the 8th day of May 2018. A very good evening to you watching UBC TV. Welcome to News Tonight. Let's have a look at the headlines first. Museveni warns against soliciting fuel from patients. President Museveni leaves for a 2-day visit to Egypt, while Uganda Boxing Federation committed to settle disputes. Yes, a very good evening once again. My name is Michael Jordan Lukoma with John Nopori on the sign language side. This is what we have for you this evening. In a first story, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has warned health workers against soliciting fuel for ambulances from patients and directed that districts and health facilities must include regular budgets for the fuel and maintenance of the vehicles to ensure dedicated service. The State House Controller, Ms. Lucy Nachowe Mbonye, delivered the President's message shortly after she delivered the President's pledge of an ambulance to Semuto Health Center 4 in Semuto Kaseke District. General Proscovia Nalweiso, the Senior Presidential Advisor on Defense and Security Matters, accompanied Nachowe. He called on the community to always be vigilant in monitoring their health and wait until the situation gets serious. And not wait until the situation gets worse. He urged the health workers to always sensitize the people and encourage them to exploit government's immunization programs to eliminate diseases. State House Controller later toured the health center, accompanied by General Nalweiso and the health center in charge, Dr. Richard Bernard Kaketo. Semuto is one of the key areas where the liberation struggle was fought. General Nalweiso urged the health officials not to misuse the ambulance, but use it to serve the patients and the community. Dr. Bernard Kaketo hailed President Museveni for fulfilling his pledge to the people of Semuto and also said that the ambulance will go a long way in easing service delivery of the health center. In other news, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has left for Cairo on a 2-day state visit to Egypt at the invitation of his Egyptian counterpart, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. Vice President Edward Chwanuka Sekandi, Presidency Minister Esther Mbayo, and senior security officials saw off the president at Entebbe International Airport today as he left. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has also welcomed a Malaysia-based group of investors who have expressed interest in introducing a new cash crop in Uganda known as Jatropha, saying that the crop will promote government plan of enhancing the middle income status among Ugandans. The president was speaking in a meeting with the investors from Malaysia Felder Scheme Model Group, who called on him at State House in Entebbe, led by Mr. Geoffrey Onegi Obel, the executive chairman of Bionas East Africa Group Limited. Jatropha, a flowering plant whose seeds are very rich in oil, almost 40%, does well in tropical and subtropical regions of the world. Crude oil from its seeds can be refined into biodiesel for the diesel fuel requirements in generators and engines. The president observed that as Jatropha, the plant, is a low-value crop like tobacco, cotton, and sugarcane, plus also requires large-scale cultivation to yield good profits. Farmers who have small land holdings should not venture into its growing. Away from that meeting, First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, has commended Kabale leaders for promoting education, and she was visiting learning institutions there, as we see in this report.
The First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, has advised the staff of Kabale University to demonstrate academic excellence by executing their teaching roles effectively. She said that the Minister of Education is committed to finding lasting solutions to the challenges that derail the purpose of education. Mrs. Museveni advised the management, staff and students to embrace dialogue as a method of conflict resolution rather than resorting to strikes.
Please allow yourselves to provide that example to the universities, that it does not require these strikes that have become endemic in our universities. to give a message to our government or to the student leaders.
The First Lady criticized the increasing reports of sexual harassment or marks for sex in universities.
Absolutely unacceptable. Not only does it violate the rights of students, but it portrays our institutions of higher learning negatively across the country.
The Chancellor Kabale University, Professor George Mondo Kagonyera, emphasized the need for infrastructure as a challenge still facing the university.
We all know that one of the most important ways you can develop a country is to develop the education of its people. Therefore, I want to appeal to the government of Uganda, through His Excellency the President, that you should never be tired of putting money in education.
The university, which is in its second year of transition from private to public status, has a student enrollment of 2,666. The School of Medicine, faculties of Engineering and Computing, among others, exhibited a series of academic activities. Remija Simbonye, UBC News in Kabale District.
Thank you so much, Remigius. Now, it has been 11 years since AMISOM forces intervened in the nearly 3-decade-long Somali civil war. While a milestone has been achieved by the UPDF forces under the peacekeeping mission, there is still a long way to go in restoring the broken state in Somalia. Our journalists embedded with the UPDF in Somalia and were given rare access to tell the story of the country's road to recovery. Let us see the story. Yes, welcome back from that short break. We apologize for the Somalia story, but we'll have it in our next bulletin. Just keep watching UBC TV. Now, Uganda's Interpol, that is the police section that does the role of Interpol in Uganda, is to change the features on the certificate of good conduct so as to curb forgery. The Deputy Inspector General of Police, Sabit Muzei, says that the thugs have mastered the features on the old certificate and we're now duping Ugandans with the fake ones. We have details to this.
This is a copy of Uganda's certificate of good conduct. It is issued after a thorough vetting and criminal background check by police to mainly those who want to prove that they are not criminals. Those who obtain it are mainly searching for jobs abroad or working with international organizations, foreigners who want to register their cars in Uganda, and those who want to acquire dual citizenship. Government collects billions in taxes from issuance of certificate of good conduct. However, many Ugandans have been duped by middlemen who issue out fake ones, something that often ends in interceptions at Entebbe International Airport.
The middlemen have taken advantage of the need. Some people have expressed the need so much that this middleman just takes advantage of that. You don't need a middleman to do this. So cut out forgery, cut out losses, cut out losing your own money. Just come here and we'll help you.
As a result, Deputy Inspector General of Police, Sabit Muzei, says the police will now change the features to curb the vice of forgery.
Digitization of this process. We've discussed the number of security features that we shall put in that certificates to avoid forgery. Why people respect the certificate of good conduct? They know that they will have passed through the system of vetting. So whether in-house or outside, we should send Ugandans of good repute.
For example, the font is very different. We've changed addresses. We've changed signatories. We have changed sizes of the photograph. We have changed the proportionality between different statements in the certificate. The paper is going to change drastically. It will be impossible. There are watermarks there. Some of them can be seen, some can't be seen. We shall also be able to scan. There's something we put down there at the bottom that can be quickly scanned, the barcode, and it gives you the details on the certificate. This will be very difficult for people on some of these Kampala streets.
Director Interpol Freddy says they have also acquired modern machines for the printing of the certificate of good conduct.
The issuance of this certificate has contributed to public consciousness that they have to avoid criminal behavior if they are to access certain critical services across the world.
Okay. Philip Aguta reporting.
17 police officers serving under the African Union mission in Somalia have been awarded with medals for distinguished service. The officers from various police contributing countries in Somalia who have completed their tour of duty were decorated with medals and awarded certificates by the acting Amazon Police Commissioner Christina Lalo at a function held in Mogadishu. Amazon Police Chief of Staff Rex Dundun and Amazon Police Coordinator for Operations Daniel Ali Gwambal were among the senior African Union mission officers in attendance at the event. Speaking at the event, Alalo commended the officers for their dedicated service and called on others to emulate them in their duties. Of the 17, 7 officers were from Kenya, 6 from Sierra Leone, 3 Ugandans, and 1 from Zambia. Other police contributing countries in Somalia include Nigeria and Ghana. The achievements of the group, Miss Alalo noted, include helping revive the Interpol department in Somalia, establish a database, and help the Somali police set up a closed-circuit television, that is CCTV security system. Away from that, Uganda coffee is one of the most sought after on the international market. This coffee demand has kept coffee as the leading commodity for the Ugandan economy. Coffee alone contributes between 20 to 30% in terms of foreign exchange earnings for Uganda. And because of this, it returns, many people have embraced coffee growing throughout the country, as we see in this report.
Farmers in the Busoga region are engaged in coffee farming, banana growing, and cattle keeping. Tayoleke Wilberforce of Bloga village, Nabikoli parish in Kalio district, grows coffee on 10 acres of land. Wilberforce, a social worker graduate, decided to engage in farming immediately after university. He asked the youth not to shun agriculture because it brings in more money in the long run.
The youth should discern from the idea of staying in town, because after my university studies, I chose to go in the village and consolidate onto my project that I had started earlier on. So they should look at agriculture as one of the avenues of putting money into their pockets. And I like the program.
Wilberforce is not alone in this. Isaiga Godfrey and Gideon Nawanda grow cassava, bananas, keep cattle, and piggery. This is done with the support from Operation Wealth Creation, which provides seedlings, fertilizers for crops. Operation Wealth Creation Coordinator, retired Major Stephen Chivumbi, says Tayoleke exhibits unique skills. Through trainings, he prepares land, plants in lines, practices trimming, thinning, weeding, and pest control, manure application, and mulching.
That's why every year, when the seedlings came, according as he requested, he wanted to expand to have about 10 acres coffee seedlings as you are seeing it. So he have gone very far, and then he have put his effort for irrigating his coffee.
Regular training and advice from army officers has helped these farmers to apply the right agronomic practices like mulching, pruning, thinning, and spacing. Tayoleke encourages fellow farmers to take farming serious. He believes hard work and determination is the route to success. Mutonyi Hilda, UBC News.
The 6th ordinary session of the 4th Pan-African Parliament has opened in Midrand, South Africa, with the swearing in of 72 new MPs to the Continental Legislative Assembly. The session, under the theme "Winning the Fight Against Corruption, a Sustainable Path to Africa's Transformation," is running from the 7th to the 18th of May and will discuss the role of Parliament in realizing health and achieving health targets for the black man's continent. The MPs will also deliberate on issues of press freedom, the report on the African Union on combating corruption, and the report on action on albinism in Africa. Among the guests who graced the official opening ceremony were the African Union Commission chairperson Moussa Faki Mahamat. He urged the nation states to put words into action and ratify the various instruments of the African Union. Mrs. Nai Anna Bathili, head of Global Parliamentary Engagement at the World Bank Group, asked legislators to discuss policies and also enact legislation to promote youth employment. She said that technology, globalization, and climate change were impacting work on the globe, and that MPs have a crucial role to play in developing policies and legislation for employment. Uganda's delegation to the PAP includes Honorable Jacqueline Amongin, NRM from Ngora, also leader of the delegation, Professor Maurice Ogenga Latigo, who is FDC from Agago North, Honorable Anifa Bangirana Kawoya, NRM from Sembabure, Honorable Felix Okoto Gong, NRM Dokol South, and the Honorable Babiri Kadogo, independent from Buyende District. With that, we'll take a very short break. On return, we'll have business, news, international, and sports. This is News Tonight. Please keep watching. Yes, in the world of business, Office of the Prime Minister has embarked on a new program to deal with youth unemployment using the Northern Uganda Social Action Fund. Under this project, youth from the northern parts of Uganda have been mobilized to grow coffee and open outlets for coffee consumption in the northern and eastern parts of the country to provide job opportunities and wealth creation for the young people.
Let me send to him a big cow that can give him 40 liters of milk a day.
A 5-day business clinic in Arua municipality has attracted hundreds of participants from across the 8 districts of West Nile sub-region. The clinic, that was sponsored by the Office of the Prime Minister and conducted by Enterprise Uganda, was held at St. Joseph's College Ombachi in Arua municipality.
Now we are accelerating with the use of the money. But people of West Nile have not used their money to full capacity. Arua, for example, this financial year, Arua has not used up to 2 billion shillings. They have good money, good resource, IPF, indicative planning figure, but for this financial year, they have not fully utilized it. Next year, we expect substantial use of money by all the districts in West Nile.
The program officer of NUSAF in the Prime Minister's office, Alfred Odera, said funds and infrastructure had been availed to produce coffee that will take care of youth unemployment in the region.
We estimate to have $40 million for the financial year 2018-2019. And this is when we'll be doing the bulk of household investments.
The Executive Director, Enterprise Uganda, Charles Ochichi, said West Nile is strategically located to do business with the Democratic Republic of Congo and South Sudan, but also with refugees who are currently displaced in the region.
West Nile is, as I said, a place of vast unutilized land. That land will give opportunity for agroforestry. That land will give opportunity for fishing. That land can give opportunity for large-scale farming. That land, because of that greeniness, is an opportunity for bee and apiary. That's the honey industry.
So participants were seemingly satisfied with the business clinic because of its fulfilling business dreams. John Owino compiled the story for UBC.
Still in business, dialogue between Ministry of Works and Transport and the second-hand car dealers kicked off today with pledge from the ministry to include their ideas in the bill regarding the abolishment of old vehicles on the Ugandan market. The first meeting has been chaired by the Commissioner for Transport, Regulation and Safety, Katoshabe Winston, at the ministry headquarters.
By Cabinet. And Cabinet, the Minister responsible for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, put a number of issues including this one, of the ban of vehicles of 8 years and above. So as I've said, we are engaging with them because they wrote to the ministry requesting to meet Ministry of Works and other key stakeholders. You've seen we have the number of key stakeholders: Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Trade, and other key stakeholders, police, so that we could engage and find out what are the issues, how can they be addressed, so that we can brief the executive, and then there is an interface between executive and parliament. The decision now will be between the executive and parliament, but not us technocrats. For us, we've picked the information. We are going to science to look at it, analyze it, and be able to advise. We have consulted. We have consulted, and we have promised them that the issue they have raised, we shall again put them to our political leadership, who will again discuss with the Minister of Finance and be able to interface with Parliament so that a final decision is reached.
This meeting is very successfully. This is understanding meeting. Ministry of Works has done a very good job. Please understand, Uganda is not ready. Let's make in the step. How you make in the step in the 5 years, next 5 years, you come in. Another way you go to tell you Mombasa is give you the port free. Where you go, where you get in the expensive, which one you expend in the road. Kenya is going to give you the place for free port. You not go to pay. You recover that expensive from that side in the road. In other words, Kenya take your business. All business is going hand Kenya. Nobody go to do any business in Uganda. Okay, I thanks all of them who's there, who's listened us. I want we go to engage our
Ministry of Works and Transports and the car dealers. Tourism continues to develop into one of the best sectors for African economies, with Seychelles doing well as a result of increased numbers of vacationers. Ranked 7th among 47 countries in sub-Saharan Africa, Seychelles enjoys economic freedom, making its economy the 88th freest in the 2018 index. This has also been made possible with the booming hotel business, a venture only challenged by high taxes. Henry Okurut has this.
It is morning and therefore time for breakfast here at Savoy Spa Hotel next to the Indian Ocean. As Ugandan vacationers are having their early morning bite, other tourists from other parts of the world are chilling at the beach. These are just part of the statistic that adds up to the thousands of tourists that visit this country on an annual basis.
We finished last year with 350,000 visitors coming to our shores. That was a 15% increase compared to the previous year.
The travel and tourism industry being one of the world's largest and fastest growing businesses, the hotel venture has not been left out. This is why Seychelles as a tourism destination is not any different. This 72-year-old man has been in hotel business for 48 years now, having started in Cape Town in South Africa. He only opted for Seychelles after a hotel at which he worked was sold, something that disappointed him. But, like the old saying goes, where there is a problem, there is an opportunity. So, upon arrival in Seychelles, he started his own.
I manage, I do the purchasing, I organize the maintenance. Basically, I do everything, whatever has to be done. And normally the average rate rent is about 1 week. And then we do have rates to 14 days, and we also give the people a discount if they book for 14 days.
Honeyman Holiday Residence is just one of the newly built apartment hotels in Bouvalon on the island of Mahé. It is a venture worth expanding in the near future, despite the noisy ongoing construction works in the neighborhood.
We do have the piece of land right next door to us. And my wife and myself, we will decide now when she comes, if we should build another 4 apartments next door.
However, to believe that it is just the comfort for vacationers is to miss the point of economic judgment. The hotel business contributes handsomely to the country's economy, as attested by Manfred Hein-Klein, the managing director, Honeyman Holiday Residence.
Taxes we pay 15% of every euro we earn. Right? It would be, of course, nice if I also had tax-free like some of those big hotels.
A successfully ended day of tour in Seychelles is clear to many that it is a country worth visiting.
I have seen that if you work and you save some money, you can go out and experience other cultures and other countries and beaches and what people offer, so that you can either bring people here in Seychelles to experience the Seychelles culture, and you can bring the Seychelles people to Uganda to experience what we have. Every country has something good to offer.
In 2012, the Seychelles Tourism Board approved the country's tourism master plan of 2012 to 2020. Here, accommodation establishments were expected to comply with the standard requirements on the building code, a regulation they say is currently being adhered to. Henry Okurut, UBC.
Okay, Henry Okurut there with a picture of tourism in Seychelles. We'll be back, Maman. We'll now take a look at the security exchange rates and the money market report as we wind up with business. Yes. On the international scene, at the neighborhood in Kenya, they are battling some of their worst flooding in decades, leaving hundreds of thousands of people displaced. The coastal areas are hardest hit, including Tana River region. The Kenyan Red Cross team is assessing the damage. The following highlights are courtesy of our partner station, CGTN.
Hassan Musa is a regional Red Cross manager. He gives final instructions to his team. They are delivering humanitarian assistance to flood-affected communities along Kenya's Tana River. The Red Cross is joined by local government officials. Our destination is Galilee.
What we're going to do is to do distribution of non-food items. The last 3 days we've been doing distribution of food, which was donated by the national government. And then we're also going to identify other villages that we've not been able to access.
As we make our way downstream, the extent of the crisis is evident. A quarter of the road network in Tana River County has been rendered impassable by the heavy rains and floods. So the easiest way to reach some of the more remote parts is by boat. Residents are relieved to see the Red Cross team. They've been cut off from the outside world for more than a week. Half their homes are underwater.
We have not received any assistance apart from some food from the national government last week. We need food, medicine, blankets, and nets.
More than 60,000 people are displaced in this county alone. More than 200,000 countrywide. Schools are shattered. Farmland destroyed. So far, authorities and aid agencies have set up 180 camps for the displaced. But there are rising fears of an outbreak of disease and worse.
At night, when you need to relieve yourself, there are no toilets. We help ourselves outside. There are crocodiles that come here looking for dry land. We use a basin and dispose the contents in this water, the same water we drink. That is why the children and some adults have diarrhea and vomiting.
Officials will return with medicine for the sick. But for now, we move on to the next village, completely submerged. Villagers have had to move to higher ground. And from there, the next village and the next. With only 7 boats to bring aid to flood victims. Robert Nagila, CGTN, Tana River, Kenya.
Uganda Boxing Federation administrative wrangles and legal battles seem not to end, with the latest being Vice President Fred Kavuma and complaint accusing his newly elected boss Moses Muhanji in bout of misusing federation funds, a case that led to Mengo Court Magistrate Alex Mushabe issuing an injunction of freezing the federation bank accounts. We have details to this.
While the Uganda Boxing Federation President Moses Muhanji is away in Morocco alongside the national youth boxing team, which is participating in a continental boxing event, not all is well in office, as accuser Fred Kavuma took his grievances to Mengo Court, expressing his dissatisfaction on how the executive members are running the federation. Mengo Chief Magistrate Alex Mushabe advised the warring parties to settle matters outside court. However, this did not go well with the respondent side, as complainant Fred Kavuma explains.
For our colleagues, because for us we thought that all of us we are in for that game, because the magistrate has been, clear that you people, can I give you an opportunity? Then you settle these things. Then they were like, no.
The Muhanji camp is determined to settle their battles in court through the federation lawyer.
We came prepared to proceed today. The respondent's lawyer was not ready. Unfortunately, he's not feeling well, and asked court that we file written submissions. We obliged, and we are going to file them by tomorrow.
As court proceedings were ongoing, a crowd of angry youth outside court expressed their views about the disputes that are hindering their progress in the embattled sport.
We have our boxers, clubs are training, and they cannot box because these people are frustrating boxing. I think Kavuma and the trustees have to leave boxing because
that man serious. Because for us boxers, we need freedom in boxing.
And he's still young.
Not confusing people.
Kavuma, we don't want him just only taking our money.
Meanwhile, Federation Public Relations Officer urged the two parties to stop bickering but rather concentrate on the development of the sport.
At least these guys to be harmonized with us. We move forward because
Court adjourned the cases and has dated the 29th of May this year for the next hearing. For UBC, Helen Barbara, Jizamba.
Yes, Proline FC might be still in the relegation zone after their 2-0 loss to reigning league champions KCCA FC. Goals from Shaban Mohammed and Derek Nsimambi gave a lifeline to continue KCCA FC's quest of retaining the trophy, sinking Proline even lower into the red zone. Vipers, who were top of the league, however, shared spoils with Kirinya Ginger SS in Ginger. UBC TV brings you the highlights of the game between KCCA and Proline, together with the reactions from Proline manager Mujib Kasule and KCCA's Mike Mutebi.
We had a very good game plan, and the boys put a lot of pressure and they played very well. They gave everything. Unfortunately, we couldn't bury the chances that we created. And in football, when you play against a bigger team with good players, if you don't take away your chances, you're bound to be punished, and that's exactly what happened. But I'm very proud of my boys, the way they played. They gave everything on the football pitch. And in the end, we're unlucky not to win, but I have no complaints at all.
I say we made so many silly schoolboy mistakes by the so-called experienced players. We made that mistake against township rollers and were punished. Now that is the difference between international football and local football here. You make those silly mistakes, you're punished. So like you said, in the first half, would have been 2 goals down. From nowhere. But schoolboy mistakes, and I accept schoolboy mistakes by the kids. But players like Habib Kavuma, then where does the experience come in? You see? That's why I say, I am going to stick with the kids who will understand more than the so-called experienced players. I said, where does the experience come in? I'm telling you, Brian, if it was, we made the same mistakes against township rollers and were punished. You see? So, but you see, this is, like I say, our players are still learning how to play the game. There's one thing being talented and having the knowledge of how to play.
KCCA manager Mike Mutebi there to his players. But away from that, the 26th edition of the National Coca-Cola Championship have kicked off this afternoon at Kacheka Stadium in Mbarara with over 58 schools from the different regions of the country. The National Championship has attracted various schools from different regions of the country as schools take part in the championship qualified from their respective regions before the National Championship held in Mbarara. All schools that took part in this year's championships have each received flat-screen TVs, new jerseys which will be used during the tournament in Mbarara. The different regional champions also have today received their trophies won during the regional qualifiers. Among others who received trophies include St. Mary's Chitende, last year's champion Ginger Progressive Secondary School, among others. A number of games have so far been played at different grounds and have seen the defending champions wallop their first opponents 7-0, while Chitende drew 1-1 with Kawempe Muslim Secondary School. Royal Giant had a 1-0 savior. Chitala Modo 3-2. Rock High School. St. Paul 1. Maluku High School 2-1. Light SS 0. Ijuma 2-5. Kisos SS Green Valley got 2-0 against St. Joseph's Senior Secondary School.
High School is in red and black. On the chopper. So
yes, I liked Coach Mike Mutebi's message to his players about having the knowledge and the talent. Hope the players will get the difference. That way, let's have a look at the headlines as we wind up this first edition of news tonight. President Museveni leaves for a 2-day state visit to Egypt. Kenya battles worst floods in decades, while Uganda Boxing Federation committed to settle disputes out of court. Yes, that is all we had for you this time round. My name is Michael Jordan Lukoma with John Anopori. We'll catch you at 10 p.m. Please keep watching UBC TV for our next programs. Bye-bye for now.